What's up, guys? Welcome back to my shop. Welcome back to the channel. I think I got another good episode for you guys today, and it involves our boy, the Dirty Dodge. With Graham being somewhat buttoned up, if you don't know who Graham is, this is my 1978 AMC Gremlin that we acquired from Sleeper Dude over on YouTube. I don't know, about a month ago. If you haven't checked out his channel, go over and check it out. It's Sleeper Dude on YouTube. Great family content. Awesome. Anyway, so let's get back to today's episode. As you guys know, with Graham being somewhat done, we're going to go ahead and focus our attention on the Dirty Dodge. And today I want to address this fender. As you guys know, we've talked about it. This appears to be a replacement fender from some kind of fender bender, Lord knows when. And we still have some of that evidence here on the door, right? So someone must have been coming out of the local, quick shop and, caught one of them Ballards or, decided to T-bone somebody else. It's hard telling. But anyway, what I want to try to do is I want to try to match this pink and get rid of this yellow. Now, obviously, we don't want to get rid of any of this. We want to keep all this rust patina on top, some of the patina all the way down the side. Actually, anything brown we're going to try to keep, right? We just want to fade out all of this yellow. Now, I've never done this before, but I'm going to experiment and try with it, right? You live and learn. You never know till you try. So I went and purchased 3 kinds of pink paint here. We got a variety is what I'm saying. And I think this color here is really what I'm kind of going for. Something like that. I think once we dull it down, it'll be okay. So I'm going to take, a mixture of these 3, and we're going to try to recreate that pink right there and be done with it. So I think what I'm going to do, first off, is in the last episode, as you guys know, we went ahead and we scrubbed the entire car. For those of you maybe new or watching, this is another car that I had purchased off Sleeper Dude. And this had, I don't know how many years of just flash rust that had built up over the pink, and the black and the white and so on and so forth. We comet washed the entire car, and this is what the patina, revealed to us once we got the rust off. Absolutely love it. We're not changing anything about it, but we're going to try to color match this fender over here. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to get you set up. We're going to get all this masked off, right? Get it dialed in so we don't get pink anywhere we don't want it. Heck with the wheels. I don't care about those. And we're going to come in and we're just going to try to start feathering some pink. Then we're going to try to scuff it down and get it to match. At this point, let's quit talking about it. Let's be about it. Welcome back to Busted Radial Garage. All right, guys. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and mask off this headlight, this top part of this bumper trim, that mirror, maybe a little bit of this edge of this bumper. Any other fine overspray, it's not going to matter. We can take it off. And then we're going to start focusing on this fender. So let's get to masking this stuff off right quick and be done with it. Now, for those of you that do not know, I may have mentioned it in the last video, but I did purchase another one of these cars for the trim, bumpers, these little accents, windshield, all kinds of other stuff. So we are in there like swimwear as far as that goes. But I just need to get this body dialed in and then get an engine installed, which those of you that are new here, we got a super nice original Poly 315 to put in here, which is going to be sick. I cannot wait. And it's going to have all the original bells and whistles and all that jazz that goes with it, which is going to be awesome. All right, so I guess we need to get this. All righty. I love this car. I think it's so awesome. All right, now we'll get some paper and we'll hang over all of that. Let's go ahead and get this mirror right quick. All right, moving right on along. I think I'll just hang some paper there. All right, let me go get some paper. We're going to get this hung on here right quick. All right, guys, there we go. Got it masked off. You know, a third grader coming here and done this, you know, as usual around here. But anyway, I think it's going to work. It's just going to stop, you know, pink from going anywhere where we don't want it. I've got something coming up for the engine bay underneath the car, the fender wells and all that. So if we get a little bit of overspray in here, who cares? It's not going to matter. So again, I've never done this before, but we're going to try it. Again, we're going to keep anything that's patinaed, like this rusty brown color, light brown. Anything that's brown is we're going to keep it, obviously. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with this pink paint, and we're going to paint anything that's this yellowish white color, and then try to overspray onto the brown a couple inches. And then what we'll do is we'll let that set, dry, and cure up, and then we'll come in and re-scuff this down and try to blend this brown all the way down into the pink and give it this dirty look, right? Is what I'm thinking. And then if that works and it matches somewhat good, we're good to go. We'll just leave it. If it's a little too light or a little too dark, we'll just come in with some different pinks and try to get it as best looking as we can. And then once it's set where we like it, we're just going to leave it, right? Because at the end of the day, we're going to final do this entire body, and then we're going to put like either like a matte clear over it, or we're going to come in and poppy patina the entire car. We'll figure that out when we get to that point. But I just want to get to the body to a point where we can put all the trim back on, replace all the bumpers, replace all the bumperettes, headlight bezels, windshield, and get this body entirely dialed in, fix the floor pans inside, get that done right quick, and then we can start moving on to the engine and performance, right? Which will be his Poly 315, his new, I think we're going to try to go back with a 727 with overdrive, his new interior. You know, we're just going to get him dolled up so we can take him maybe to the poverty tour this year. That's what I'd really like to do. But anyway, let's quit talking about it, and let's see if we can try to keep from ruining this fender. Let's get some pink out. Get out of here. Stay. All right, guys. I went ahead and got my paint kind of heated up a little bit and the fender. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with this super light pink first. Just kind of come in and fade it in on all this white and yellow. And then I'm going to go over top of it with this like flat purplish pink. All right, guys, there's no turning back now. I mean, we got to try something, right? I mean, you got to try. You never know till you try. But we're not going to go super silly with it. We're just going to come in and we're just going to try to fade this in on everything that is the yellow. There's nothing that's either right, wrong, indifferent, or perfect. It's just to try to fade in some pink rather than the white. I mean, I think it's going to look sick. I really do. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. Now, again, we're going to work this down. So we should be able to, in theory, patina this out. I just want to get rid of all this white. Try to save as much of the brown as we can. I mean, because at the end of the day, we're gonna scuff it down until the brown comes back out either way. I'm trying to overlap the rust about an inch or so, so when we come in and scuff and sand this back down, we can pull the brown back over the pink, if that makes sense. So like where we have some yellows peeking out through the brown, we're just going to go ahead and hit that. Try to keep from getting a whole lot in the engine bay. I mean, we're going to do the engine bay either way. Let's get around here in the front. Try to get up around this headlight bezel. All right, we're not going to go much more than that. All right, guys, so here's our light pink. I mean, it's obvious difference between this and this, but once I think we put that dark paint on, we're going to start bringing it in a little bit closer. And if we got to, we can maybe add some other colors in with it. I'm not sure, but I think once we start dragging this fender down and pulling through the pink and dragging this rust color down in, I think it's really going to dial in. So let this set up for a few minutes. Obviously, it's going to be that quick for you. I'm going to let it set up for about a half an hour, and then we're going to come in with that dark pink over there, and we're going to feather in with it, and we're just going to see what we end up with. But I'm really optimistic this is gonna work. All right, guys, it's been about, I don't know, a half an hour. Now we're gonna go ahead and try to add this satin. It's like a purplish pink. I think it's gonna be really close to that over there. And this is dry to a touch. So let's just try to feather it in. Well, again, we'll start down here. Oh yeah, I think that's gonna be, I think this is gonna be money. Now I'm not gonna like completely cover it because I want a mixture of the two colors. So let's just try this out. We'll go a little heavier in some areas, a little lighter in others. Because we're gonna drag this down, right? And see if we can bring that color back through. But I mean, I think we're gonna be super close. I think we're gonna be close enough where it's not gonna matter. I mean, Rust-Oleum Patina. Who would have thought it? Well, let's just try it out. This is a flat, so it's going to take all the sheen away, which is awesome. But we're going to leave a little bit of that light pink sticking through, and I'll show you why here in a few minutes. I want to kind of round this area off a little bit so it doesn't look so square edged. And then we'll let the scuff pad do its magic. Let's get up here on this fender. Guys, I think this is going to be mint. I'm loving it already. I'm loving it. Like McDonald's, I'm loving it. Dude, this is going to be so sick. And then we'll be able to bring some of this back through the paint, which is going to be awesome. I don't want to get too crazy. I don't want as much color as you think I do. But I want to get rid of the yellow. I think I'm going to just about leave this where it's at. Let me get over in here a little bit. Okay, let me get you in here. Okay, we have an obvious difference, right? But I think once we start getting this scuffed up and bringing that brown back through, I think it's going to be pretty close. We might even, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about it. I've got some light brown over there. We might be able to, before we scuff it, shoot a little bit of light brown over that pink and see if we can dull that down just a tickle more. Hold on a minute. Let me go see what I got right quick. Okay, guys, I did find some dark brown. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do a little bit of this right in here to try to bring this around just a little bit. Just try to, not a ton, just darken up that pink just a tickle. Just kind of flashed over top of it. Something kind of like so. Try to see if I can get a little bit in here. Just putting a little bit of a fan over it. See how it's starting to darken that pink up a little bit. Again, experimenting. I know there's some of you probably at home like, what are you doing? But just try to bring this around the best I can. Now I think I'm going to leave that. Let it dry, and then we're going to scuff it and see what happens. So, you know, just hang tight. I'll be right back. Alright guys, this is either going to be really good or really bad. I got me some water over here. I heated up with my turbo heater. So what I've got is I've got a real coarse and then a fine green Scotch-Brite. So we're going to start out with the fine first, and let's just see what happens. I mean, again, we don't know, right? I got to be careful because I don't want to take a ton of this off. I just want to kind of feather it in. Oh man, that's starting to turn out nice. Okay, guys, it's been a few hours, and if I'm being completely honest with you, right when I ended that time lapse, it just wasn't working. It was absolutely terrible. I just shut the time lapse off and had to sit back and think. So then I went up to Maysville, and well, here, let me back this up. I actually downloaded the code from Chrysler from 1955 and come up with the paint code for this original pink, and it was called Heather's, hold on a minute. Let me think what it's called. Heather's Rose, I believe is the color. I may be wrong, but I can't remember it off the top of my head, and I'm on my phone filming for you. So anyway, I went up to our local Sherman-Williams store, and we fiddle-farted around with codes from Chrysler, and they were able to actually mix me the actual paint. This car was painted in 1955. There it is right there. It's like a pinkish color with a background of gray. It's called Heather's Rose. So I took it off, compared it to this paint I have here that I bought, you know, from Walmart or wherever I got this. Great, just got all over my hand. Anyway, they're super close. Anyway, so, you know, I want to thank them because they did everything they could for me and actually, you know, pretty much sponsored this thing of paint, which was awesome. So I want to tell them thank you for that. And then I went up and started mixing, you know, with some browns and some rust colors, some different pinks. I mean, I bought some black. I mean, I done everything. So I come back here off camera, and I wish I wouldn't have because, you know, the creative juices started to flow, and I think I've got a pretty good start to this. I still actually have to scuff it down just a tickle, but I just created a faux patina on this fender. Essentially, I started from nothing. Let me flip you around, show you where I'm at right now, and we're going to kind of go from there. I don't think it looks too bad. Boom. So here's where I'm at right now. Now, granted, I'm about 5 foot away from the car, but I think I'm onto something here. So now, essentially what I had done is I sanded all this back off, got some brake clean, took all the spray paint off that I had put on, and I took this original light pink that I had bought, and I sprayed down the fender. Got it all this pink on there, a light mist. Then I took some brown and dark, or some dark brown and some black, and I started creating like a rust look up here on the top edge of the fender and along the headlight well. I was kind of just trying to mock this side, right? Now this is still wet, and I haven't scuffed the shine off of it yet, but you kind of see what I'm going for, right? Then I just kind of fanned a little more of the brown and the pink in here. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't looking too bad. So I took a little more of the brown paint and I just kind of feathered it along the top here. And then I bought this rust color paint, which I don't know where the can is. Oh, it's right here. And I'm like, I wonder if I can get that orangish faded look out of the pink. And sure enough, I just went ahead and dusted that fender, and it brought that pink out kind of like this, right? So we've kind of got these colors matching up. So I'm like, man, that isn't looking too awful bad. Maybe I should start filming this, right? And then I took the dark brown and created our edge to match our bottom here, kind of feathered in, you know, a brown edge. I kind of feathered in the top of the fender here to match the back part of the door. And I'm like, this is starting to come together. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let this dry. I'm gonna scuff this down, take all the shine off, because I've got a mixture of satins and semi-glosses and all that here, but I think we're on to something. And then what I'll do is I'll come in and really just start trying to dial this in. I didn't even mask it off, I was so aggravated. So I'm gonna have to bring some Quad Zero here and clean this chrome up, which is irrelevant. I've got all brand new of this anyway. But I wanted to just jump in here and show you the direction I'm going. And to be honest with you, I don't think we're too far off. I think once I scuff this down, get the shine off, get it flat like the rest of the car, maybe I can dial in like, look, I need to touch, you know, a little more of that rusty paint color on that bright pink and then scuff all of this. And I might even take some of that brown and rust and see if I can make this quarter panel right here look like the rest of the car, right? Here, I'll take you on the other side. So you see how this quarter panel is versus the other side. The other side is like dialed in. It was like the best panel of the car, right? But we've got this rust here. So I may be able to take that brown and that rust paint I got and just kind of dial this quarter, that quarter in to look like this quarter, and it'll match on both sides of the car. So yeah, I am super tickled with that versus what I had earlier this morning. I mean, this is really dialing in. Again, I've never done this before, but it's just a matter of getting colors and shadows right? Man, I got pink everywhere. So I think we're onto something. I'm really digging that look. I think it's going to bring it down perfect with the rest of the look of the car once I get this scuffed up with some Scotch-Brite, get it sealed up. And I think what we'll do is if this turns out okay, we're going to go ahead and, just kind of experiment with this rear of this quarterback here. But anyway, I'm super tickled with how this is starting to look. I mean, remember what that fender looked like when we started with, right? It was like yellow and white. And was just about 8 different colors of spray paint. We've actually got this looking like the rest of the car. So now once we get the trim and all that on here, that's gonna look sick. So anyway, yeah, I've got to stop for tonight. I've got a family function I got to go to, which kind of works out because I need to let this dry and then we'll come scuff it. But anyway, I am super, super tickled with our fake patina. I think it looks awesome. What y'all doing? You being good today? Huh? All right, guys, welcome back. It's the next day. We're going to get back on the Dirty Dodge. I will admit, I was down here last night working on the Dirty Dodge, just playing around with some finishes and some scuff work. Let me show you where I stand right now. All right, so here is the current state of the front fender of the Dirty Dodge, and I absolutely think it turned out perfect. We went ahead and drew the browns and the blacks down a little bit on the front fender to kind of go with the other side, right? We kind of brought it down to match. Now, we don't want it to be a perfect match or look, too fake, if that makes sense. But anyway, I think it turned out perfect, especially from the front view. We kind of darkened up its left eye a little bit, or its right eye, depending how you're looking at this. And then we just drew it around the fender. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. I went ahead and scuffed it down, put, some deep scratches and some marks in it here because we got to kind of go along with this dent, which is in the door, which I'm leaving. I'm not fooling with it. But I think it turned out amazing for Rust-Oleum, right? I think it looks sick. So I think what I want to do, like I said in the previous clip, is I want to dial in this area here. Now, I don't want to go too extreme, but I want it to look like the rest of the car. For some reason, this quarter panel come out absolutely mint compared to the others. So I think I'm going to set you up and we're just going to play around a little bit and see if we can put a little bit of age in this quarter to match the other side. And just to refresh your memory, if you're new here, this is what this side looks like. It has that beautiful patina that comes off the trim. So let's see if we can get in here and play around a little bit and try to get a little more of this over there. And I think this body is going to be good to go ahead and get a final cleaning on and try to put a matte clear over top of it or some shine juice. Again, it'll be matte. I don't want any shine on here, but just kind of protect the car the best we can. And then, in the next episode, we are going to tackle this. Now, the car I bought has this, heater box cover, and it's not cracked. So I want to replace this. Obviously, we're not using any of this old, nasty wiring. For this, this is a perfect example is what I'm saying why we're not going to use it. So we're going to have our boy Smoke come over here and rewire the car because I would love to use as much of this instrument panel as I can. If not, we'll try to hide away a set of gauges out of the way somewhere. But anyway, let's get to fooling with this quarter panel right quick and see if we can just bring a little bit of age to it. And then we're going to leave the body alone. So let's get to work. All right, guys, good deal. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start out with some of this rust brown here. And I'm going to try to just recreate, this rust brown color on the pink down this way. So it's not going to be nothing major. We're just going to just kind of mist it, right? So something like this. Oh, yeah, it's already starting to come back around. We're not going too crazy. Just a little bit of a dusting on here. There we go. It's crazy how much this looks like the real thing. It's insane. Just trying not to get it all over the black. I mean, we're gonna scuff it. That, and we gotta put trim on here as well. I went a touch heavy there, but that's fine. I'll scuff it down. But you kind of see what I'm trying to do is just recreate this rust color here. I don't want to go too insane. All right, I think I'm gonna leave that alone for a minute. I'll let that set up. We'll take these heavy marks out, just scuff them down a little bit. And then we'll add a little bit of the dark brown in the areas, kind of like Mother Nature would create, right? Like up off this trim, a little bit of a darker brown. We'll follow it down here on this lower valance a little bit. Bring some up in here to where it looked like it washed down from the trim. Go over a little bit with this rusty brown. And then we'll scuff it and see what it looks like. But it'll give it one nice uniform look all the way down the car, I believe. So yeah, let's let this dry up a second. We'll give that a shot. All right, it's been a minute, so let's go ahead and just try to drag this down the paint. Oh yeah, that's much better. Just dulls it down, doesn't make it look so pronounced, but it fits right in. So we're gonna drag this down. There we go. There we go. All right, so we got this dark spot here. We're just gonna drag it down. Go back here on the gas door. Run this edge. Oh, that looks much better. So we're starting to get some of that rust color coming back through the pink. Let's hit this one more time. Drag this down. There we go. Now it's starting to look a little more like this. Now this is the factory rust color. I didn't touch this door at all. And then we've got it starting to peek through here, which I think looks sick. I love it. Kind of patinas up that pink just a little bit more to match the rest of the car. I think that looks sick. Now we'll come in here. I'm gonna try to add a little bit of dark brown right in this area. Come up off the trim, that lip. Maybe back here a little bit like it's coming off the gas door, right? Back this way. And might try to fan some in right here on this fender, or on this quarter panel. Let's try that right quick. All right, let's try some of this dark brown. It's espresso. Let's give it a whirl. Now look, there's no rhyme or reason to do this. Some of you may even think it's crazy that I'm doing it at all, but that's fine. You know what I mean? It is what it is. What I'm doing may not be for everybody, but I'm just trying to, you know, bring out some of the colors on the paint. I don't want to go too heavy. I'm just gonna kind of fan some of this off there, down up off here, up here at the top, just a little bit. There we go. Now don't worry about that chrome. I'm gonna quad zero that off there. We'll get a bit down here at the bottom, right here to match the rest of the car. Now there's gonna be trim down through there, so that's pretty much irrelevant. You're not gonna be able to see much of it. See if we can get some coming off this gas door. All right, we'll give that a second to dry up. Then we'll come in and scuff it. See if we can add a little bit here on this quarter panel. I don't want to go too crazy. Just a little bit of a dusting on it. We don't want it to be straight, so we'll have it work its way back here a little bit. The cool thing is if we don't like it, we can try to clean it back off. Now there's going to be trim here, so don't worry about that line right now. Put a little bit here. Right here where this V8 emblem is going to be. Okay, now we'll leave that alone a second. We're going to try to scuff that in and see what it looks like. We may have to add a little bit more. I'm going to darken up this pink just a little bit. Might even try to come on over a little bit more with it. All right. Let's let that set up a little bit. And we're going to come in here and scuff this and see what we got. We can always thin it down, go from there, but gives us just a little bit like an aging process, right? Let's try that out. Cool. All right, give me a few minutes. We'll scuff that down. All right, guys, it's been a few minutes. Let's see if we can scuff this down. See if we can age it up a little bit. Try to drag it in a direction that we want it to go. Again, I've never done this. I'm learning as I go. I just want to give it a little bit of age, or actually just try to, yeah, age up this pink. I don't want it so bright, so dominant. Let's try to drag these two kind of into each other. Same thing down here. Oh yeah. Try to drag it on back. Oh, that's perfect right there. I love that. This I want to look more like it's coming down. Drag this gas cord back. Not sold on this area here just yet. We might add a little bit more. We'll add a little bit of rust color to it. This here will definitely add a little bit more rust color to. I'm going to try to just dull this down and get a little more pink coming through it versus just a solid brown. So we'll see what we get this like. Try to bring a hair of that pink back through the brown. I like where that's going. Let's keep pulling with it. Yeah, I like the way that's going. I like that. See if we can do the same thing here. We'll bring some more of the pink through the brown. Drag this back. We get this trim and this V8 badge back on here. That ought to look pretty good. This here, I just want it to look like a blotch. We'll just kind of fan it out. See how it's pushing that paint away? Again, never done this. We're just playing around, seeing what we can do. Oh man, I like it. I like the way it's starting to look. I like this part here. Try to make it look like it was coming backwards. Try to get this to run down a little bit. All right, let me get a little bit of the rust brown. We're going to add it to that and we'll see what happens. But so far, so good. Well, guys, I'm going to jump in here with you real quick. As you can see, it's darker than I'll get out here in my shop. For the second time today, we have no power like in our entire county. Like the entire county has no power and it's crazy. Nothing better than, you know, a 19-degree day working with my shop door open. But you know what? We are going to push forward. So I'm going to get you set up here. Let me show you where I'm at right now. So I was enhancing the patina on this door and down the side. So I guess what I'm going to do is we're going to set you up. You're going to have to bear with me. The lighting's going to be terrible, but we got to keep pushing. I mean, you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to get you set up in the best possible spot, and we're going to work down this color, and we're just going to keep pushing forward until the power comes on. All right, guys, I hope you can see it. You can probably see better than I can. But anyway, I got to get this drawn down. So essentially, I just enhanced what was already here. I just kind of dusted it. And the reason I done that is I just wanted to darken it up just a little. So I'm just going to essentially just work this down. It's on here very fine. We're just adding a little bit of color to it. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it looks okay. I mean, from what I can see, which is nothing. Just kind of work this around. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Kind of carries the color back from that fender. Again, we're just going to work this. Now, I sprayed this with a little bit of that light rust color. We're just going to kind of smooth that out. And I went ahead and worked my way back this quarter panel a little bit more so we can carry the color back. There we go. See, I don't know if you can see. Let me see. Can you see? Beautiful. But you know what? We keep it real here at BRG. We don't lie to anybody. From what I can see, which is very little, I think that looks awesome. But like I said, very little. Oh yeah, I like that a lot better. We just carried that brown on back to back here. We'll lighten this up a little bit. Much more better. Much better. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. That'll look sweet with that V8. badge in there. That's gonna look awesome. All right, cool guys. It's about 3 hours later and we finally got power. Hey, look, those of you that are linemen out there dealing with this crap in this cold, my hat's off to you. You guys are awesome. I can't imagine. But anyway, we got the Dirty Dodge dialed in. I've done a lot of it in the dark, you know, I'm blind anyway, but let me show you what we got, because I got to button this episode up or I'm never going to get it out to you. So let me show you around what we got and we're going to go from there. Boom. There we go. I got the Dirty Dodge pushed out here in the middle of my floor so I could see with, you know, my 19-degree daylight. Had to put Graham away, but that's fine. So anyway, here we go. Remember our old white and yellow fender? I think that looks sick. We went ahead and touched up a little bit of the accents that were already on the door, got that dialed in, and then we worked our way over here and got this quarter panel dialed in, which I think looks sick. Now, granted, there's going to be the trim go on there, the V8 badge emblem will go there, and that'll kind of look like that's peeling away, but I think that's a far cry from what we started from. And then, of course, we've got our original patina all over the car, which has to have final sanding and cleaning yet. No big deal. Yeah, this is going to be epic. I cannot wait to get this car done. So anyway, now that we got the body dialed in halfway to what I want, you know, we still have to remove all this trim, get it cleaned. We have to remove all the bumpers, all these bumperettes, because we have new trim that's going on, plus all the stuff that we're missing, like the headlight bezels, you know, this tooth that's missing here, but I've got two that's going to go there anyway. New windshield. But next episode is going to be this engine bay. So we're going to get all this torn out, get it cleaned, get this our wire wheel down, get this old wiring removed out of the way. Great little episode today. I think that turned out epic. So you guys know the deal. I love you. I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you next time. BRG out.